Hello, Professor. My name is Shankaram Pathasarathi, and this is my presentation for assignment number 2. So, in this assignment, you had asked us to scrape data from a social media website, and I have chosen Twitter for this because I already had a Twitter developer account, and hence it was much more easier. And I have already tried to scrape data from Twitter for my data programming assignment last sem, and hence this was much more easier to do. And okay, anyway, as we go into the assignment, so in this assignment I have access Twitter using my Twitter developer account. See, you can see this is my Twitter developer account. So I used the Twitter developer account, and what I did is all this data in my newsfeed, this gets when I run the code, it gets all the data on my newsfeed and then stores it inside a pandas data frame, which I then upload to MongoDB. Also, I have created an API that connects to Twitter and posts a tweet on my behalf. The API is a little bit basic because I do not have much experience with APIs. I have done codes, but I do not have much experience with APIs, and hence there is not much. It's basically for more functionality. There is not much extra going into the API, just basic API. It gets it gets the string I want to post as a tweet, and then it sends it to it posts on Twitter on my behalf. So basically the Twitter app I designed on the Twitter app that retrieves the data from Twitter and saves it on MongoDB. I designed that on Jupyter Notebook. So the thing is, I did write the first time I ran the code was in VS Code, and the thing is, everything is perfect. Everything was perfect, and even I even used a TP to post a Twitter status directly from the code. But when I was designing the program, and I commented it out so that it doesn't post the same status again and again and again. So anyway, this is the same code that it has been run on Jupyter Notebook, but the thing is, when I ran this code on VS Code, and when I tried to see the the first 20 variables of my data frame, which should contain all the tweets, it does not show me anything. I do not know why it does not show me anything when I run. This is this, as if you can see bottom here, this shows all the data types inside this thing. But when I try to show the df.head20, it does not show me the first 20 variables inside the data frame. I do not know why. Maybe something wrong with VS Code, but I do not know why. So basically, since VS Code is not working, I then opted to go for Jupyter Notebook. So on Jupyter Notebook, this is essentially the same code as in the VS Code, and I'll go through it now. So basically, the first part is to importing all the necessary variables. So I need TWP and the web browser, because when I authenticate on TWP, it sends a request to Twitter using my consumer key and consumer secret, and then it sends a request, and in return it receives a URL, a callback URL, which it opens inside the web browser for me, and this gives me a token value. Okay, I'll show it to you right now. Restart and run all cells, please. So when I run the code, so this is the TP authentication part. As you can see, it's still executing. So the reason for that is, first of all, TP sends my consumer key and consumer secret to Twitter, and in response to this, in response to receiving this, Twitter sends back a authorization URL this URL is stored inside redirect.url, and then I use a web browser to open redirect.url, and then this is called user token. So this asks me every time I run the code, it asks me like what is the token value. So every time I close the program and run again, it comes up with a different code, which comes with a different code. I'll show it to you again. Restart and run all cells. So every time, see, it changes. If I authorize now, the codes will change. As you can see, the codes have changed. So every time I run the app, the codes change, and when I give the token value here, this when I give the token value, Twitter then the authorization app again sends the user token to the Twitter, like it requests Twitter as saying the user has given me this as a user token, is this the correct token to access the profile, to which Twitter goes through in and is like, yes, this is the correct token, and hence it runs. So when I like press enter, it checks like after this, these three steps continue, and it checks my user token with Twitter, and like if its authentication is successful, it becomes like me is equal to api.me. So now when I try print username, which is me.screen name, which is, where do I see profile, which is this one, TAN90CHARL13. So this shows up as my username, and this continuing on, since it has obtained my username, I say that this variable my timeline is called api.home of timeline. So it gets all the timeline here, like it gets all the data on my timeline, and then it gets all the data on my timeline and stores it inside my.timeline. And now I have defined the allowed types as string and integer, because I don't want all the data. Like if I try to get all the tweets, like it will come with a lot of random gibberish. For example, I'll show it to you. These are all the variables inside a single tweet. As you can see in the bottom here, like when I try everything, there's a lot of variables inside a single tweet. There's API, JSON, when was it created, what is the ID, what's the string ID, what text is there, what source URL is there. It has everything inside it, and I can show, I'll show this to you much more clearer with my, okay. So there's a lot of data inside a single tweet. So I showed the allowed data types as string and integer, and then I have given tweets data is equal to null. So now I have written a for loop which loops through all the data, like it goes through all the timeline data, and then using using the for loop, I loop through all the data until I can separate single datas, like single tweet data. Like this gets all the data in the timeline, like such as this gets all the data, and out of this I would need a little bit at a time, like only selected stuff. So if I just loop through the timeline itself, then I'll get all the tweet data in my news feed, but I needed to separate it based on tweets. Like each tweet has its own separate containers. And see, as you can see here, this is how the Twitter data come in through. Like as you can see, the best laptops for Amazon Prime Day 2020, which is right here, The Verge. The best laptops for Amazon Prime Day 2021, that thing. And these are all the data here. So in order to, and this is the MongoDB connection string, like this connects to my MongoDB page, and this is my DB client is equal to Twitter. And like before all the times I have run this code, whenever I ran printdb or anything, like whenever I try to connect to MongoDB, it would not connect. I do not know why, but like there were a lot of errors. So before like entering into the data, I like just typed in printdb, and this like shows, like it prints the database where it's at, where it's everything. And now I have done is data is equal to def.toDict.orient records. So this is to like make it into a dictionary type. So as you can see, it shows everything like repeat count, id, string, source URL, text, favor account, code. Like these are all the string and integer type datas. There are other data types too, but this is the basic string and integer type data types. So like since I have given it like this, allowed types string and integer, and if you can see here, I have given it as in like in allowed data types. See, if the variable type is in allowed data types, that is if the variable type is either string or integer, then do this, like do the rest of the sentence. And that's how I separated all the data. So the thing is, wait, what's how much? Oh shit, it's 11 minutes. Sorry. Okay, okay. Go to the next one. Okay, and this is my, where is it? Yes, this is my Flask API. So since it's an API, I can't always keep on getting the token value and entering it by myself every time. So when I wrote this program, I like TP has a lot of different authentication methods. So when I wrote this program, I decided to use the normal authentication method. So I'll change the Flask. Yes. So I changed to like a normal authentication method so that it does not need users. Okay. Let's see. It does not need the user's permission every time. Like if the consumer key, consumer secret, access token, secret, everything is correct, exactly same, then the app just goes into Twitter and like does it. So I'll show it to you. Flask run. So when I run this program, where is it? Yes, it's here. So as you can see, this hello world is like when I was writing the program, I just like when I was like when we write a Flask app, since it's a web API, we need to reference a as you can see, there it is. I'll divide it now. When we write a program, we need to reference an index, like we need to give a template for the API to show the data, and that is why. So like whenever I write a program, I always go with hello world, like, and hence that's how it came to be inside the program. Sorry. So anyway, if I type whatever I want to type, I will type today is Monday, and if I post this tweet, where is Twitter? And if I go in here and refresh, see, as you can see, the first tweet is today is Monday. Sorry for the spelling mistake, I was in a little bit of a hurry. So yeah, so basically this is the program I have designed. I know it does not do much of the functionalities that you have required us to do, but still I have done it to the best of my knowledge. Thank you for watching this presentation. Have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next one. And I know this was pretty bad, like this might be pretty bad, but I am improving, so please give me chances to. So hope to see you again, and I'll see you in the next assignment. Thank you and have a wonderful day.